who does an EV make sense for?
EV makes all the sense. The few conditions that it won't make sense for you is that
How much did you pay for this?
a layman would easily have to shell out about 25 lakh rupees. We paid 13.5. Yeah.
Because everybody's waiting for discounts to kick in Diwali. So there's a lull. The biggest concern in an EV is that how much of the battery life is left. So how did you get that done?
Through MG itself.
What happens to the battery warranty when you buy this? Do you have the warranty of the battery?
The thing about battery warranty is that what we have eventually planned is that the money saved with the Delta basically extend the solar panel system at our house to offset charging costs also.
Amazing.
The battery health was at about 95%. Definitely, hurts the battery.
Your battery is still under warranty for the next 6 years, and FG has confirmed this.
MG has confirmed this. So it's more like a marketing gimmick is what I believe.
Yeah.
Pre-delivery inspection is very, very important. Mahindra cars, Tata cars के साथ में you have to be very, very thorough with the PDI.
क्या हुआ था इस गाड़ी में?
इसमें जो
This channel is brought to you by the 01 Media Network. With their support, I'll be helping you spend your money wisely. Okay, today we are going to be discussing EVs, especially in the used car market. We have Kefi with us. Kefi has bought ZS EV. We're going to be discussing that ZS EV. He bought it second hand, and so he has a lot of learnings to share. If you're in the market for an EV, you will find this useful. If you're in the market for a second hand EV, then you should watch this video before, pulling the trigger. We are sitting in an XUV 400, which also belongs to Kefi and his family. But we are going to be discussing the ZS EV because the ZS EV, we couldn't sit in the ZS EV because उसपे कोई PPF का काम चल रहा है. It's gone for some detailing work. And so that's why we are in this XUV 400, which is another EV. So he's basically very, very entrenched in the EV ecosystem, and that's the idea of today's video, that given EVs depreciate so much in the second-hand car market, why are more people not buying EVs? And if you're buying an EV, what are some of the things that you should think about, especially in the used car market? So with that, Kefi, welcome to the channel. Thank you for joining us. Kefi is a subscriber of the channel, before I let you introduce yourself, who came for the credit card workshop with Anmol and I, and that's how we met. And then I bumped into him yesterday at a coffee shop, and he said that he has learnings from his EV purchase, which sounded interesting. So I thought, let me invite him, and so he's graciously agreed. So Kefi, I'll let you introduce yourself.
So hi Pranay, this is Kefi. Both the cars that we essentially were going to talk about the ZS EV because it's a second-hand car, and how I bought it and how I pondered upon finally buying that. And my XUV 400. Both the cars were basically family decisions, and my father primarily liked the ZS EV quite a lot.
Yeah.
That's how we finalized upon that.
Yeah.
It's in the cherry red color.
Yeah.
So he liked that color also a lot.
Nice.
Versus the other options in the market, and then definitely the whole decision was superseded by the financial sense of buying it.
Yeah. So we'll get into that, right? So let's go one by one. What was your budget when you were thinking of buying this?
So as a family, we started from a thought process that because we are never going to take the EVs out of Delhi NCR, and that is going to be the usage. So primarily say about at max in a day the car would ever go is about 150-200 kilometers. So we were like, we are never going to use it more than that in a single day, so we need not spend a lot of money.
Yeah. So you don't need a EV with a big battery because you don't plan to take it outside the city. Fair.
But then at that point of time, so we started looking all the way down from a Tata Punch EV.
Yeah.
Then we had to look at the Nexon EV.
Yeah.
At the same time, we had to look at the normal MG Windsor.
Yeah.
The 38 kilowatt hour battery pack.
Yeah.
So we have the XUV 400 that I have.
Yeah.
This is about 39 kilowatt hours. Same
Range.
capacity, same range. And we were fine with it.
Yeah.
Then MG launched the 50 kilowatt hour battery pack of the Venture.
Yeah.
So we booked that.
Yeah.
We liked that a lot.
Yeah.
Overall, it was a nice car, although it did not please me as a person. People might like it.
It's polarizing. Some people really like it.
Polarizing.
Some people don't like it at all.
And I had my other point of concern with it, the crumple zone and all. So that was something that I was a little worried about. But then I was like, okay, because we have to drive it in the city, so we're never going to drive it that fast. That we need to worry about those things a lot. So we were like, चलो ठीक है, कर देते हैं book. We'll take it, 50 kilowatt hours battery. So ये भी thought process था कि battery जितनी ज़्यादा बड़ी होगी, we have to eventually charge it that much less.
Yeah.
So it in general elongates the health and the life of the battery.
Yeah. So in that case, you were basically looking at the Windsor EV. I think that's the one that you had set your eyes on.
Was Windsor EV.
And you had booked it.
And we booked it.
And how much was the price of that when you had booked it?
So we booked it during the launch offer. And if I vaguely remember, it was about 18 point something.
Okay.
lakh rupees.
So you had booked the base one, which
Yeah.
was around 20ish.
Around 20. Then we thought कि चलो base छोड़ के second variant ले लेते हैं. Pack 2 and above. उसमें भी हमें similar सी feeling है कि यार almost 24 लाख रुपए लगाने पड़ेंगे. 24-25 odd lakh rupees लगाने पड़ेंगे.
It's not a cheap car.
It's not
Yeah.
cheap from any angle.
Yep.
So then eventually ये हुआ कि चलो छोड़ देते हैं. पड़ी रहने देखते हैं क्या
Yeah. So you've cancelled that booking.
हाँ, essentially.
Now it's cancelled.
Now it's cancelled.
Great. How did you find out about this ZSEV?
So we found out about the ZSEV through our friends and family network.
Yeah.
The car was owned by an organization.
Yeah.
And it was being used by a director over there.
Yeah.
Like a person over there.
Yeah.
Essentially, the company wanted to sell it off, and we got to know.
So this was not through some used car dealer. This was through a friends and family network.
Yes,
And it's a
essentially.
company's car, which is like a business where one of the employees / proprietor, director, whoever is owning this car.
Owning
Okay,
this
got it. And you found out through your personal network. So that's a big plus point already, right? That this is not a car that is coming through unknown sources. It's
Yeah.
coming from somebody who you know and have some level of trust.
Some level
in.
of trust that the car is definitely not run down.
Yeah, it's
that
not a
is
flooded
something-
car. It's
yeah.
not an accidental car. It's
It's not
none of that.
accidental or flooded, so we were sure about that.
Okay, cool. Okay, even though you're sure, did you go about getting any inspection done? If yes, I want to understand more on. Did you get anything inspected in the car? Like-
So we got the first level of inspection was done through a third party.
Yeah.
We had called not all companies' names. They do PDI pre-delivery inspections for people.
Yeah.
They charge you.
Is
About,
this Zicardo?
I am not too sure.
Okay.
Because actually I did not book it. My father booked it.
Okay.
So,
We'll put it in the comments. You can ask your dad.
Yeah.
In case you find out, we'll put it in the comments.
So he booked it. They went to the place the car was at, and they did the whole inspection about the car. But like barring the battery health inspection.
Okay.
That is something that they do.
That is the big one, right? Because the biggest concern in an EV is that how much of the battery life is left.
Battery life, battery health is
Battery health is left, yeah. So how did you get that done?
that we got done through MG itself.
So MG does it?
Yes, MG does it, and they have the setup to do it
Yeah.
at their service centers. So you can take your MG EV, tell them that you want a diagnosis of your battery,
Yeah.
and they will give you all the information regarding the battery health and all.
So the way it comes on an iPhone, here's the battery that you have left on your phone. It's similar to that. Like here's the battery health.
Very
Interesting.
similar to that. The only difference is you cannot see it on the screen or the MID display. You will have to take the
Yeah.
car to the service center and ask them for the information, and then they'll very easily do it for you.
So how much do they charge? How does this work?
It was about 900 or 1000.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah. That
And
was
how much
about-
time does it take to get this done?
Depends upon how much of a rush is there on
But
the service center.
assume that your car has
half
been
an hour
plugged
job.
in.
Half
Okay,
an
half an hour they'll tell you,
Yeah.
and
They'll have the-
$1,000. That's it.
Yeah, half an hour and $1,000.
So how much life was left in the car of the battery?
Yeah, of the battery. The battery health was at about 95%.
Oh, that's good.
When we ordered, and the car had done about 19,000 kilometers dot. 19,000 to be precise, actually, yeah.
So 19,000 kilometers done on the Odo, 95% of the battery left. How many years old was the car when you?
Car was 2 years old,
2 years old car.
like not 2 years.
So it's not run too much. The battery life is healthy. This is coming from a friend and family circle. Now let's get to the juicy part. How much did you pay for this? Because also before we start, how much are you getting a new ZS EV for? So first answer that, and then tell me how much did you end up paying for this, and therefore how much was the depreciation?
So the new ZS EV was after all the negotiations that you can do,
Yeah.
all the kind of discounts that you can get.
Yeah.
A layman would easily have to shell out about 25 lakhs rupees.
Okay.
Is what I remember.
Yeah, and that's broadly in line, because even when I was buying my car, I was ZS EV as something I explored. You're right. It was broadly in the 25-26 ballpark.
25-26 ballpark figure. The best deal probably you could get would be about 24, 20 and a half types, is what I believe.
And how much did you pay for this?
We paid something in the north of 13.5.
13.5. So you
13.5 north of 13.5, but surely below 14.
got it. So let's assume 13.5. So that's almost a depreciation of like 50%. 45-50% is what you got depreciated on this, which is amazing given it's a 2-year-old car, which has not done so much, and it's not accidental, it's not flooded, it has 95% of the battery left. Now my next question is, what about the warranty? Because that's the other one, right? Like on the battery especially, what happens to the battery warranty when you buy this? Do you have the warranty of the battery as you continue to own this car, or is the warranty warranty null and void?
So the battery, the thing about battery warranty is that, so it's a 8-year standard battery warranty and
Okay.
a 5-year car warranty.
Yeah.
The body shell and all,
Yeah.
axles and everything.
Yeah.
else, headlights and all. So the car was 2 years old. So
Yeah.
minus 2 years from the 5 years of car warranty, which is 3 years left.
Yeah.
And minus 2 from the 8 years of battery warranty. So it's 6 years of battery warranty left.
Summarize, you're saying that your battery is still under warranty
Yeah,
for
battery-
the next 6 years, and MG has confirmed this.
MG has confirmed this.
Okay, so-
Battery and the car. So because they treat it as two different
Yeah.
things, two different aspects.
Yeah.
Age-
Time periods left, so that's amazing.
Left. But yeah, essentially that
Because
2 years has only gone down from the 5-year car warranty and a 8-year battery warranty.
okay, because where I'm coming from is that on the Windsor EV, from what I've heard and read, is that when the second owner buys it, the battery warranty, which they give that lifetime warranty pack of the battery, that is not there for the second owner onwards. Seems like that's not the case here, or is there a nuance there?
So with the Windsor, if we talk about this lifetime warranty or unlimited warranty kind of a thing, or even any
Yeah.
car manufacturer that is offering, so it's more like a marketing gimmick, is what I believe.
Yeah.
Because don't quote me, but
We are quoting you. Go for it.
the car's RC validity is 15 years.
Yeah.
And from what I believe is that.
So that's the lifetime. It's 15 years.
15 years.
Firstly, how much have you driven it?
So we have driven it about 2,000 kilometers in 1 month, one and a half months. Charging it takes some decent amount of time.
Yeah.
About 10 hours on the 7.2 kilowatt hour battery pack.
Yeah.
The charger.
Yeah. How did you finance this at SEV?
So my father paid in full for the car.
Okay.
It was not financed.
Yeah, makes sense because it's a used car.
It's a used car, so the rate of interest is very high.
Yeah.
And that would eventually defeat the purpose of an
Yeah.
EV. Why? Because the
Yeah,
reason you buy
yeah.
an EV is to save money on fuel. But if you end up paying 16% on 13 lakh rupees year on year, it would be very high.
Yeah, makes sense. Another question I had was, I remember you mentioning before the video that with the money saved, because you were going to buy a Windsor EV for 18,
Yeah.
and then you ended up buying this for say 13 and a half. For the money saved, the 4.5 lakhs, you've done something really innovative. Do you want to share that with the audience?
Sure. So my family is what we have eventually planned is that the money saved with the Delta will basically extend the solar panel system at our house, which will again help us produce a lot more energy, a lot more electricity to offset the charging costs also.
Amazing.
So save
Amazing.
quite some amount of money over there as well.
Amazing.
Plus, if you look at it, a car's general lifetime is 15 years.
Yeah.
EV, petrol,
Yeah.
diesel is 10 in Delhi NCR. The solar panel gets a life of about 25 years. Recovery is done in about 7 to 8 years
Yeah.
at tops.
Yeah.
It gives me free energy for about, say, 15 years.
Yeah, and you're using the money saved, right? Like, so that's the beauty of this. You were anyway going to shell out 18 lakhs on a new car. You bought a used EV, which is in warranty, and you saved that money and you put it back into, in a way, the fuel of the car. And so now you're completely off the grid.
Off the grid.
With this and the ZS EV and your solar panel powering, this is just like really, really cool. With all the sun that we get here, it's a very smart thing to do. Coming to the end of the video, we can't let you go without you telling me more about this XUV 400. I am, by the way, really enjoying this XUV 400. I'm usually not a very big Mahindra fan, as regular viewers of the channel will know, but I am actually really enjoying this car. And can you tell a little bit more about how does this compare to the ZS EV? How's your experience been between these two cars?
So ZS EV and this, the major difference is that maybe on paper they are not very different in terms
Yeah,
of size.
yeah.
Marginally different.
Yeah.
The ZS EV is marginally bigger.
Yeah.
But in driving, it feels considerably more bigger than this one and than the actual size. And it's the other way around for this car. Although it is a 4.3 meter car,
Yeah.
it feels a lot
Much smaller. Yeah. Oh, this is
And,
4.3?
Yeah, this is 4.3.
It doesn't look that big, yeah?
So if you look at the petrol variant of the same car, it is significantly short. It's about 3.9 because of the
Tax.
taxation.
Yeah.
But on EVs, that taxation law doesn't apply.
Yeah. So they like stretched it.
They did not cut it.
Nice. Yeah.
So they kept it. So this is based on a SsangYong Tivoli.
So it's a nice spacious cabin, and like in general, it's a very well laid out car for the price.
Basic
that it's at.
stuff gets done, like takes you to places.
Yeah.
220 kilometers plus of range.
Yeah.
And it goes.
Yeah.
That's all about it.
And
No fancy bells and whistles.
Yeah.
Ventilated seats, electric seats. I mean, those are something that I don't usually use.
Yeah.
No electronic parking brake. The best thing, the mechanical parking brake.
Yeah.
So it's more like a fail-safe
Yeah.
feature, and it feels a lot more secure than an electronic parking brake.
Yeah.
So I prefer.
So you
cars
prefer
with,
this, yeah.
the physical handbrake.
And this is new, right? You bought
one
this
is brand
new.
new, yeah.
And how much did you buy this for? I know.
We paid slightly more than 14.5 lakh rupees for this, about
Amazing.
nearing 15 lakhs, including the insurance and registration and all.
That's a lot cheaper than what it's actually.
It was a lot cheaper.
You got a big discount on this.
Yes, we got a big discount on this one as well. 3 lakh rupees was about upfront from Mahindra's side.
Yeah.
Then we had another Mahindra car, so there was some amount of
Loyalty.
discount.
Yeah.
And then a lot more things that one can get some discount. Plus, quite.
Tell me a little bit more about these lot more things that one can do to get discounts. What did you do? Kafi, what did you do to get that extra discount of 1 lakh rupees?
How me and my father planned it eventually was that we'll buy a car during the rains.
Okay.
It was a public news that the car sales are pretty low.
Yeah, which month was this?
This was last year, August.
Oh, same time.
Same time.
Yeah.
Same time. August, September. Yeah.
It's also the lull before Diwali.
Yeah.
Because everybody's waiting for discounts to kick in Diwali, and so there's a lull, and that's why it's a good time to start.
Especially during the rain.
Yeah.
People
which
don't-
is literally now.
I mean, last year, so the rains were pretty bad as well.
Yeah.
So
sales are down.
sales were considerably down.
Yeah.
And that is when we capitalized on it. Month end, sales, inventory not being sold.
And
plus
this car
is
in
not
general
famous.
not selling. Yeah.
It was not selling.
Yeah.
So the dealerships had inventory, they wanted to clear it out. And we usually do not mind buying off the beat cars.
Yeah.
We have always had off the beat cars, so we were fine with it. It's a car, it should take you places,
Yeah.
and it should be reliable.
Yeah.
Are the three main point of concerns for us.
Yeah. Cool. So between the XUV400 and ZS EV, you prefer driving this. Last thing before I let you go, one is tell us in terms of cost of running, and two, who does an EV make sense for? It doesn't make sense for everybody, but for some people it makes a lot of sense. So maybe you can share a little bit from your experience on what is your cost of running been with either of these cars, because they're similar, and two, how much do you end up driving them for it to justify?
So I feel if anybody has a running of anywhere or anywhere more than or 1,000 kilometers a month,
Yeah.
EV makes all the sense. The only time or the few conditions that it won't make sense for you is that first, buying an EV and which is anywhere more than 18 to 20 lakh rupees, it will not make any sense. Reason being, it will not be able to recoup the money you have spent. Second thing, because in India even today, the EV usage is considerably limited. The reason being that the charging infrastructure might visibly be there, but you can't be sure that it would be up and running once you reach there. Plus, it is expensive, so it's not cheap. It is about the cheapest that I saw on the static app was about 18.5 or like 18 rupees 0.90 paisa per unit plus 18% GST on it. So it makes it quite a lot of money per unit to eventually charge your car. So if you have a bigger battery, you end up spending quite a lot of money.
That's a very good insight.
Understand your usage. So before buying any car, EV, petrol, diesel, hybrid, anything, one should be informed about what is the final usage. If you do not end up traveling outstation on a car that much, you need not buy a petrol car. You have your 90%, 95% usages inside the city, then why do you need, for that 5% of times, why do you need to spend that much more amount of money on petrol?
Because I'll tell you why. Because EVs, when you're buying, so for example, your ZS EV is 26 lakhs. The normal Aster is 18, 19 lakhs.
Yeah.
Right? So you're anyway upfront paying an incremental delta in buying an EV. Now, unless your running is big enough for you to be able to offset the incremental cost at the time of purchase, only then, in my opinion, it sort of makes sense. In your case, the running is there because this car, in like a year,
it has done not even a year, 2 months to go. And
Yeah.
on about 17,000
so that is
kilometers.
a lot of running, right? But like, for example, for me, my Slavia, in the last, it's been a year now, more than a year, it's only done 8,000 kilometers. And so I feel like everybody should do the maths for themselves, that what is your running, and the maintenance cost is also lower. So it's like a whole bunch of different variables in it.
lower.
Yeah, it's considerably lower. So all of those different variables, how long do you plan to hold the car for? How much is the resale value
how
going to
much is
be?
the resale value?
Because the EVs will also depreciate a lot faster. There are a lot of variables in
A
this.
lot of variables.
We
but
can't.
on the surface of it, if you do not plan to change your cars that frequently, and if a car for you is just a tool, EVs will make all the sense.
I think one thing that I really liked what you said was that if you are going to drive in the city, do not get a very big battery. You do not need to spend to buy like a 70 kilowatt hour battery if you're just going to be driving in the city. And if you have another car for your highway runs or for your outstation, then a 39, 40 or a 50 kilowatt hour battery is good enough for the most part for you to be able to manage your city runs, right? And I think that's a really good point because that saves you on cost, that saves you on maintenance, that saves you on charging costs, and like a lot of things get taken care of. So I think
Basically equated with the money aspect, I would say. Get anything under 20 lakhs.
Yeah. No, it's a
Now whatever you
good
like,
point.
whatever looks good to you, whatever feels comfortable to you, get that.
Yeah.
If you want to go even cheaper, buy anything under 15 lakhs. So 20 lakhs and 15 lakhs are the two price points where you can potentially justify the money spent on an EV.
And you'll get good options also. There are a lot of options in this price bracket now, which are EVs. So, okay, cool.
Available.
I think that pretty much brings us to the end of the video. Thank you so much, Kefi, for sharing your EV buying journey with us. You bought a new EV and you bought a used EV, and you're like completely in the EV camp, it seems. And yeah, hope you found that useful. Show Kefi some love, drop some comments. If you have any questions for him, feel free to drop them in the comments. With that, thank you and see you all in the next one. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Sorry, last parting thoughts, guys. Kefi had just shared some very useful nuggets, so I couldn't let him go without saying this. Kefi was saying something about PDI.
Yeah, so if you plan to buy a Mahindra car, pre-delivery inspection is very, very important, and not just from a third party. If you are proficient yourself, you know how to check out the cars, do it very thoroughly, especially with Mahindra cars.
क्या हुआ था इस गाड़ी में?
इसमें जो बैकलाइट्स हैं और जो फ्रंट लाइट्स है उसके अंदर फॉगिंग का इशू आ रहा था.
हाँ.
So I got the car washed multiple times, noticed the fogging, and asked them to change the lights. They did it for me. They were supportive in that part of it. But in general, Mahindra cars, Tata cars के साथ में, you have to be very, very thorough with the PDI and just not rely on the third party. Maybe take your own mechanic or someone from your family or your circle who knows cars inside. What is to be checked and what is not to be checked, and what is fine and what is not. That is very, very important with Mahindra, Maruti, Tata. Basically, unfortunately, the Indian brands.
Yeah.
That is also the same case for a lot of foreign brands also. But then just be that much extra careful with the Indian brands.
Yeah.
That is all.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that.